everybody! I'm Fiera Luna, and I play games on the internet. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back! Today, we're gonna play some video games. We're gonna play Final Fantasy V, but we're not gonna do anything important. We're just gonna grind out so many job points. 3 hours of job points, and maybe we'll get Lena dual cast, if you will. It'll be great. It's spooky stories time. I was gonna try to do ASMR about it, but my voice gave out and couldn't handle it. Apparently, Octopi Radula and the structures that science has yet to explain that allow me to speak human words, couldn't quite keep up with doing that for too long. So here we are. Welcome in, Val. Hi, Momo. I see you over on the YouTubes. My little potatoes. Oh, we love the little potatoes. Was it you, Val? Did you have a good time shopping? I bet it was. Alright. Now, this is the start of Chaos Week, which is going to be at least 2 weeks long while my work figures itself out. Momo is potato. Potato, but with cat ears, of course. So, tonight we're going to read some horror stories, and we're going to read a story about me. I'm very excited. I'm very excited indeed. I didn't know anyone wrote a story about me. Aquarium staff said they wrote a story about me and was like, "Is this you?" And I went, "Yeah, I know those people." And staff went, "You do?" And I went, "Yeah." And they went, "Interesting. You want to tell Chad about it?" And I went, "Okay." So they made a copy of it for me so that I could read it to you. So I could tell you the spooky stories. Alright, let's actually load the video game. Now here's what we're doing here. You see, what we've learned in this game is that gold needles are just the best. So we're gonna sort this. Oh, golly. I was kind of hoping I could manually sort this. I can! Okay. So what we've been doing... I said save the video game. So what we've been doing is walking in to the basement and killing statues instantly, because we can. And they're worth quite a few job points. So that's what we're doing. Alright. Now, let's go on a little adventure. It is the basement. Now, what we're gonna do, it's true, Val can teleport. You know what, I'm actually gonna turn... Nah, the video game's fine as it is. Oh, golly, I'm talking through the wrong mic, guys. Oh, no. There we go. The correct mic this time. Okay. Did I announce on my server? That is a good question. Sometimes I get so excited that I don't do that thing. I'd better go put out the announcements. Well, I put out the announcement. I put that out on Necro's server, not my own. I've also got to do the social media. Look, no, staff, it's fine. I can do it. I'll do it myself. I forgot. Not my fault. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Nah, it's okay. I'm an octopus. I can manage social media. I got 8 tentacles and 1 phone. Now we pace back and forth until statues attack us. And then I read you a story. So the horror story tonight is called The Aquarium. It's by Carl Jacobi. It is... Oh dear. You'll have to bear with me. I think this is what's going to happen regularly, is that I'm going to be inputting commands before reading fantastical tales. Oh yeah, we can turn it down, of course. I did not realize it was very loud. I forgot that FF5 is quite noisy sometimes. And also that it is late at night. Bear with me just a moment. I think it was 25 that worked best for this. There we go. And that's why we come down here, because not only do they become the engineers of their own destruction, they also give me the power to kill them more. And I like that about them. How we doing? You there, cast some magics. We could use it. Yeah. Welcome in, Catoid. Don't worry. I'm also late by like 2 hours to my usual stream start time. So anyway, I'm gonna read you all a tale. It's about me. Aquarium staff was like, "This you? You know these people?" And I went, "Yeah." And they went, "Oh, you want to read it to chat?" And I went, "Okay." And so that's where we are. It is called The Aquarium. It is by Carl Jacobi. This is the version from Tales of the Lovecraft Mythos, which adds all the Lovecraft stuff back in. To places where August Derleth took all the Lovecraft stuff out. Because he's mean. You're not supposed to kill her! No. Unacceptable. How could you do this to me? You leave my friends alone. I'm gonna put her in the back row next time. I'm very distractible, you see. She's the only one I need to continue living. Please stop turning people to stone. Fun fact, I have the solution to this problem. I periodically have to go back to the store. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna read you a tale. While I pick up all my sweet money. I love that they engineer their own destruction like that. I just need to remember where the inn is around here. Because I know that there is a place where I can sleep. I just forget where it is all the time. Where is it? There it is. There we go. We're gonna dream nightmares. It's fine and normal. Miss Emily Rhodes had been in London a little more than a year when she decided to give up her apartment and rent a house. The apartment was really quite comfortable, but, as Miss Rhodes put it, she was tired of having her paints and easel next to her teacups. Accordingly, she turned to the advertisements in the Times. In April, she found what she was looking for. The advertisement read, "To let, on Hanny Lane, near Knightsbridge Station, 2 stories, 12 rooms, including conservatory and AQ. Completely furnished. Longway and Longway, agents." She read the advertisement a second time. The conservatory she could turn into a studio and sounded ideal. But what in the world was an AQ? The 2 letters meant nothing to her. Miss Rhodes was 32, a tall, angular woman with black hair and metal gray eyes. She had never married for the simple reason of her painting had occupied too much of her time. The next day, she called at the offices of the agents and was ushered in to see Talbot Longway, senior partner of the firm, a thin, cadaverous-looking individual with a completely bald pate. "Ah, yes," said Mr. Longway. "The house on Hanny Lane. A very nice bit of property, and furnished, you know. Would you care to see it?" "First," replied Miss Rhodes, "would you mind telling me what is an AQ?" The agent coughed. "I'm afraid that was more or less a joke on the part of my son, who is the junior member of this firm." "But what does it mean?" Talbot Longway stirred uncomfortably. "The fact is, AQ refers to an aquarium which the former owner had constructed in the library, and which has never been removed. It needn't concern you at all," he added hastily. "As a matter of fact, it's a rather attractive piece, even though, I will admit, excessively large." It didn't concern Miss Rhodes. She told the agent she would like to see the property, whereupon Mr. Longway called a cab and the two of them drove to the Hanny Lane address. Miss Rhodes went through the house with a critical eye. She made certain minor objections: a suspected leak in the roof over the bedroom ceiling, a weakened spoke in the balustrade, a sticky sash weight in one of the dormer windows, all of which the agent agreed to repair. After a little haggling over price, she signed a lease. The following day, Miss Rhodes oversaw the transportation of her paints, canvases, and personal possessions to her new home. Then she dispatched a letter to Edith Halbin, her old friend in Bristol. She had acquired a house, she wrote, and needed someone to occupy it with her. Now, there was nothing in the way of Edith's long-contemplated move to London. On the 12th of April, Edith Halbin, a gaunt, prematurely grey woman, arrived, together with 2 portmanteaux, 3 trunks, a Siamese cat named Cooching, and 4 kittens. Miss Rhodes greeted her warmly and proceeded to show her the house. "Of course, it's much more spacious than we need," she said gaily, "but I like breathing room, and whatever is the matter?" Just over the threshold of the library, Edith had stopped and stood staring at the center of the room. "What's that?" she asked. "Oh, chat," gaily. "You must understand, this was written in a time and place when that meant a very different thing. It did not, in fact, mean what you're thinking. Although, I will say, 2 women moving into a house together, perhaps. Perhaps, possibly. It does work. Oh, let me just swap everyone to the back row, because we're not using any attacks here today." We're just grinding out job points for several hours. Perchance. Yes, exactly. Miss Rhodes frowned slightly and led the way forward like an unwilling museum guard asked to describe an unpleasant picture. Oh, the aquarium. The aquarium was mounted on a low platform and measured nearly 10 feet in length, 3 in width. At first glance, it resembled a sarcophagus of antiquity, with ornamental stonework at each corner and 8 legs that looked like enormous claws. The glass tank occupying the midsection of this structure was filled to the 3/4 mark with roily water, into which Edith Halbin peered now with troubled eyes. "Do you mean to say fish live in that?" she asked. Miss Rhodes shook her head. "No, there are no fish. Whoever had this aquarium installed was a conchologist. He wanted to duplicate as closely as possible the natural conditions the specimens are found in." "What's a conchologist?" "A collector of shells. It's quite sturdy, you know. I would have put in fresh water, but the valve seems to be stuck." Edith Halbin took a step closer. An overpowering smell of putrefaction and stagnant water rose up out of the aquarium and crawled into her nostrils. With one hand, she reached for the heavy cover. "That's stuck too," said Miss Rhodes. "I shall have to have a man out to fix the thing." In most respects, the house proved to be all that Miss Rhodes had hoped for. The conservatory jutted off from the rear and offered both good lighting and seclusion for her work. The bedrooms were large and airy. Only the library was a disappointment. The furniture there was heavy and cumbersome, and the entire room had an atmosphere of gloom and depression. The door, too, a heavy oak affair, persisted in squeaking no matter how much oil was applied to the hinges. It was equipped with a latch that had a trick of locking of its own accord. A week later, they had taken up their joint residence. The two women had their first visitor. Ugh. Oh, goodness, I read later instead of after. Well. I used that on the wrong person. You don't need that gold needle, sweetie. That's what I get for paying attention to two things at once. Let's try that again. Haunted locks! Yeah! Or the kind of lock that keeps something in. Something that you're afraid of. Staff. They're not scared of me. I'm 4 centimeters tall. I can't hurt anybody. What is this, a Magnus statement? Practically, yeah. Alright. A week after they had taken up their joint residence, the two women had their first visitor. Answering the door, they found themselves confronted by a middle-aged man with a bristly mustache, grayish temples, and pale eyes behind huge bone-rimmed spectacles. Let's use that on the right person. I believe this is yours, he said without preamble, handing across a very wet and bedraggled cat. Kuching, wherever have you been? Cried Edith Helbin. Well, she was on my roof and couldn't get down, explained the man. I'm your neighbor, Lucius Bates. While Edith took charge of the Siamese, Miss Rhodes thanked their visitor and asked him to tea. She led the way to the library, which seemed the most masculine room of the house. I see you've got the aquarium, Lucius Bates said sometime later. If I were you, I'd have that thing taken out of here. Miss Rhodes began to pour the tea. It takes up too much room, and it's an ugly piece at best, he continued. And personally, I don't care too much for its contents. You mean the shells? Bates nodded. They were collected, you know. Shells are wont to be. Give me a second, chat. I've got to pay attention to the monsters. There's so many of them. I don't want them to hurt me. Spooky Rockman. Why hasn't Ferris gotten to go yet? She has a gold needle prepped in her actions. Okay, there we go. Why are they attacking you? None of you die. Hooray! They were collected, you know, by Horatio Lear, the former owner of this house. He died a year ago. Edith Helbin, who had finished drying the Siamese with a cloth, looked up. Is that the Lear who was famous for his deep-sea work? Yes, and a diving bell. He explored the Snarabin Deep off the coast of Haiti. He was a conchologist, too, and brought up some rare shells from the ocean floor. I seem to remember, said Edith Helbin, some unpleasantness connected with his name. Lucius Bates nodded. That would be about his brother, Edmund. For years there was a bad feeling between the two men. It reached a climax when Edmund publicly accused Horatio of falsifying reports to the depths he had reached in the diving bell. But they must have patched up their differences, for they continued to live here together, until one day Edmund left. Where did he go? I don't really know. Horatio wasn't sure either, though he said something about his brother having interests in Haiti. Is this all of Horatio's shell collection? Asked Edith Helbin, nodding toward the tank. Enemy still over subplot! Lol. Oh, chat. Yeah, of course somebody has to write a statement about me. I'm cool. If the Magnus Institute was real, I would be like, thing number, like... 482 that they would talk about. There are not 482 episodes. A footnote, if you will. Oh, we're gonna have to go invest in more gold needles. Stonks!
Bates shook his head. No, but for some reason he destroyed most of it before his death. He suffered a heart attack, you know, while fitting that cover on the aquarium.
Next day, by means of hard, if unskillful work, Miss Rhodes managed to get the frozen valves into operation. She drained the tank, and when it was emptied, saw that the bottom was made up of a thick layer of grayish sand upon which the shells rested, or were partially buried. While the tank was refilling, she turned her attention to the library desk, and came upon a drawer which she had not opened before. Here were several file folders, with the name Horatio Lear stamped upon them. One contained a chart labeled Caribbean Area, Subdivision, Senarbrandeep. There were other charts, many of them illustrated with pen and ink drawings of marine shell life. As Miss Rhodes looked through these papers, a desire to know more about the subject seized her. Across the room, in a tiny alcove off the library proper, Kuching, the Siamese, lay on a pillow, surrounded by her kittens, and watched through slitted eyes. Presumably, the alcove had been built for bookbinding, cataloging, and other related tasks. But when Edith had seen it, she decided it was the place for her pet. I wish I were a kitty in an alcove sometimes. It seems like the place where kitties belong. By carefully comparing some of the smaller shells from the tank with the illustrations on the charts, Miss Rhodes was able to catalog a dozen or more specimens, including a rare bluish Stimpson's collis, a deepwater Celariella obscura, an albino queen conch, and a Caribbean vase. And we can argue all day about whether it's vase or vase. We definitely can. No, you know what? I want to be real, the DeMille organization. Aww. I did work hard on that one. What if Magnus, but we're cool and also from Canada? Magnus is cool, though. Then she began to read from a typewritten paper which she found in another file folder. The manuscript seemed to be a hodgepodge of deep-water scientific observations and autobiographical remarks. As she continued to read, a feeling of detachment and unease slowly stole over her. Well, we have to invest in more gold needles, actually. Stonks. Her first impression was that Lear had been a very erudite man, completely absorbed in his work. But when she came upon several vitriolic notations concerning his brother Edmund, her admiration changed to a feeling of repugnance. Miss Rhodes went to bed that night, her head filled with unpleasant thoughts. What sort of man was this, who was so obsessed with anger for his own kin that he would violate the ethics of his profession by baring his soul in a paper ostensibly devoted to science? Moreover, his hatred seemed to have no greater motive than Edmund's refusal to accept Horatio's theory concerning some forms of deep marine life. What that theory was not explained. Oh, I thought if he was going to write about me, he'd do a good job. Oh well, that happens sometimes. Oh, more. It's such a cool stream. I wish Fiera Luna was real. I am. All it works is believing in me. I've put pictures. You guys get to see pictures when I get nice treats. And Steph also helps open some of those treats because sometimes I'm too small to do it. The force required to open bubble tea is a bit more than I have in me. I've tried. Staff had to do it for me. But they did. Also, they got mad that I had fire. They didn't take it away because they couldn't find it, but they got mad that I had it. But I still have it. Anyway, back to the thing.
Miss Rhodes tossed restlessly. Finally dozed off. About 2 in the morning, something awakened her. The noises of the spring night drifted in her open window.
Uh-oh. Ah, darn it. I didn't mean to defend. It worked out, but I didn't mean to. We've got some needles to put in some badmins. Why did Gilif get to go first? Why do you get to go first about that? Ferris was the first person I put a command in for. Well, whatever. We'll get there. Yeah, we definitely have to go invest in stonks.
Then she became aware of a distant mewing coming from the lower floor. She got up, put on a robe and slippers, and descended the staircase. At the library door, she clicked on the light switch and entered the room. Directly before her stood Kuching, her back arched, her tail stiffened, her head lifted upward. Even as she watched, the cat began to move forward like a creature in slow motion. "Kuching!" called Miss Rhodes softly. The Siamese swung and hissed, then turned uncertainly and headed for the pillow in the alcove. Miss Rhodes followed and bent down. Only 3 kittens were there. The 4th was missing. She was in the midst of a search of the room when Edith Halbin entered. "I thought I heard something," she said. "What's wrong?" "One of the kittens is missing," replied Miss Rhodes. "It must be around here somewhere."
What? Oh, you were petrified the whole time. Well, we'll sleep at the inn. That'll work. We'll drag his statue up to the inn. That's true facts. You go to bed. That's how it works. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. There is no button jar incident. I like that. But there is a war in Ba Sing Se. I suppose it is called Ba Sing Se and not Na Sing Se. That would mean penetrable city. Do you have what I need? No. Do you have what I need? Which is like 1,000,000 gold needles and also some phoenix stones. Oh, guys, I'm wealthy. Stonks. Stonks. I wake up. There's a 4-centimeter tall octopus at the foot of my bed. I am suddenly afeared. How could I be afearing? I'm not asking for anything. I don't ask for much. Just a token, really a trifle. Nah, I don't want people's voices. I have my own. You better be healed of petrification. You slept it off, right? You are not getting my voice, octopus lady. That's okay, I told you I don't want it. I have my own. Ahem.
But a complete investigation of the room failed to reveal the animal. Then Edith Halbin pointed to one of the small, open windows above the wall bookshelves. Her voice betrayed her shock and dismay. Something must have come in there and carried it off. Poor Kuching. Miss Rhodes followed her gaze and her lips tightened. For some reason, she did not tell her friend that height made entrance or exit by the window impossible, nor did she show her what she saw by the table, midway across the room. The horrible tuft of blood-clotted fur, almost invisible in the shadows against the dark of the floor. Next day, the 2 women embarked on a project which they hoped would lighten the mood, into which they had both lapsed. the painting of Edith Halbin's portrait. Miss Rhodes, genuinely concerned about her friend, reasoned that sitting for a picture would at least take her away from Horatio Lear's book collection, for which the Bristol girl had displayed a strange and unhealthy interest.
Okay, there's one more guy. Oh, Val, your voice is fine. We've heard it on stream. People have heard it on stream. They know what it sounds like. Sounds pink. We know this.
To Miss Rhodes, everything about the collection was unhealthy, from the ancient moldering covers to the quasi-factual, half-mystical content, steeped in folklore and superstition. There was, for example, a copy of Gauntlet's Hydrophanae, containing some of the most hideous and horrible illustrations she had ever seen. There was a first edition of Dwellers in the Depths by Gaston Lefay. The foreword stated quite blandly... Uh-oh. I don't like back attacks, but I'll fight this one. I feel like how they just flopped the animations over, like they didn't even bother. But like, that's okay to me. Because this is an ancient game from a long time ago. Hey! They are the architects of their own destruction! 378 out of 999. We're getting there. Oh, you can argue all you want. You're fine. Where was I? Oh, yes. There was a first edition of Dwellers in the Depths by Gaston Lefay, who, the foreword stated quite blandly, had died insane. And there was a pirated manuscript of the German Unter sie Kulten, all copies of which were had supposedly been destroyed in the 17th century. It was the cumulative effect these books had upon Edith Halbin that worried Miss Rhodes. She herself had spent an hour with the volumes, and had come away all but overwhelmed and with loathing and shattered nerves. But perhaps the portrait would change all that. Described as screechy by others outside stream, and what are they talking about? They don't got ears. Or if they do got ears, they don't got ears that work good. Screechy. You wake up. There's a 50-centimeter black cat with 3 eyes sitting on the floor of your bed. What do? Wonder how that cat got out of the radio station. I just assume that it's Koshik, or one of Koshik's kittens. That is a Welcome to Night Vale reference. Welcome in, Anya! We're partway through me mispronouncing areas in London that I don't know the names of. It's a story about me called The Aquarium, and I'm very excited. We are getting to the part where there is a monster, maybe. Perhaps. It's okay, there would never. Who would ever? I assumed it was a Welcome to Night Vale reference considering you mentioned a radio. Exactly. Koshik is the cat that floats in the Night Vale radio station, approximately, I think, 5 feet off the floor. It might be 9. No, I think it's 5. In the men's bathroom of the Welcome to Night Vale community radio station. What a good kitten. I do. I haven't listened to Night Vale in a long, long time. Oh no! Ah! How come they got to hit me? I don't like that. Well, whatever. I can immediately make them disappear. Goodbye. That's what you get. I really should listen to Welcome to Night Vale then. I mean, I do have a road trip. That's... The early seasons are okay. I don't think they're anything to write home about. Though I do think that if you're American specifically, you'll get a little bit more out of it than I did. Because a lot of Welcome to Night Vale is satire of American culture that I just didn't get. Like, I got the horror parts. Obviously, I got the spooky aspects. But I didn't understand, like... There's comedy in there about things that I just have no frame of reference for. Like, there's an entire episode that is, There's an entire episode that's like, what if those weird, funky hall pass bathroom passes, but for adults? And everybody outside of school? And I did not understand that you guys, like, that in some schools, y'all have, like, obnoxious bathroom passes. Yeah, that's not a thing here. We don't have that. We don't have hall passes. We have, hey, can I go to the washroom? And then and then your teacher goes, yep. And then you go. We don't have hall passes. Like, that's not real. Yeah, see, that's just bizarre to me. If a kid's out of class, they're out of class for a reason. Like, why do you need that? Mint had to explain to me that that's a thing in the States. Why would you assume someone's skipping class? And if they are skipping class, so what? You just politely ask, hey, what are you doing out of your class? Like, what class are you supposed to be in right now? And they'll go, oh, I'm on my free period, or, oh, I'm just running to the washroom. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, get to the washroom then. Okay, thanks. And, like, that's that. Also, why, if you were skipping class, would you stay in the school? That seems silly. Marika, are you okay? I once again wonder if you're okay, and I think maybe more and more that there's some trouble. Don't worry. But it's okay. It's okay. You're here. You're here on stream. I will provide something. I don't know, whatever this is. A sanity check, I guess. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes, but perhaps the portrait would change all that. Against her better judgment, Miss Rhodes consented to Edith's request that she do the portrait against the background of the aquarium. Try though she would, however, to keep the likeness of the container of shells subdued, it persisted. By some trick, mint or brush stroke, in standing forth in parallel importance to the figure in the painting. Moreover, the effect of water in the tank was not at all realistic. Oh, monsters! No, not that. No. A heavy shadow was concentrated here, which no amount of reworking seemed able to lighten. After 2 weeks, the portrait was done. Seeking relief from the finished task, Miss Rhodes strolled into the little yard behind the house, unmindful of the mizzling rain that dripped from the leaden sky. Presently, she became aware of a man on a stepladder on the adjoining property. It was Lucius Bates. She crossed over and bade him good morning. Oh, but a wet and gloomy one, he said, resting his saw in the branches of the plane tree that he had been trimming. Seems one bad day follows another. They exchanged idle talk. You still haven't got rid of that stone monstrosity, I see, he said. Oh, whoops, I don't have to go searching for it. I put it at the top so I'd be able to find it quickly. Monstrous? Oh, you mean the aquarium. But why? Bates adjusted his oversized spectacles. You have a rather nice library. That oversized tank is out of taste. I've often wondered why Horatio put it in there in the first place. Presumably because it was close to his place of work. Fiddlesticks! I should think a dry table would have been a good place to keep his shell specimens on. But then Horatio was a little touched.
Blessing, more flexible times. Curse, super lonely. Yeah, that sounds like homeschool. I have never been homeschooled, because that would require me to live in, like, a human house. Instead, we were fish schooled. It's very public. Whole ocean. Ours was actually fairly tame. Ours was fairly tame. My sister's, on the other hand, was a bit wild. Her class burnt down a gazebo. Yeah, I remember Onion Kid. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, gold needles. We're gonna get dual cast, you guys. It's gonna be so good. See, that would have been cool. A robotics team that had the robot spider. I would have liked that. We built a trebuchet. That was pretty neat. We had the space to do that. We had trebuchets, we had potato guns. We had so much nice things. Oh, I built a hovercraft once. That was pretty sweet. I made it out of a leaf blower, an inner tube, and a bit of plywood. The handle that we salvaged off of a car, like an old junk car, and then we put a lawn chair on top. I was the only one small enough to ride on it. I rode it to school. Well, okay, we put a hitch onto it, and then we tied it to the back of a truck, and then I turned on the hover, and then I used that to steer it in behind the truck, and the truck drove, and then I was behind the truck on it, like an inner tube, kinda, on the water, but like on the road though, and it worked out because it's country roads and there's nothing there except for us. So it worked out nicely till we got to town, and then we had to put it on the back of the truck because we couldn't really like drive in like that. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah.
Monstrous. Oh, you mean the aquarium. But why? Bates adjusted his oversized spectacles. You have a rather nice library. That oversized tank is out of taste. I've often wondered why Horatio put it there in the first place.
Presumably because it was close to his place of work.
Fiddlesticks. I should think a dry table would have been as good a place to keep his shell specimens on. Ooh. But then Horatio was a little touched. Miss Rhodes was going to mention Lear's queer papers and books when she thought better of it. Instead, she said, "In what way? Touched, I mean."
Aw, I'm sorry you're out of tea. Also, yes, Gertrude is cool. Gertrude is cool in a ruthless way. I very rarely see ruthless women in fiction. So it's nice to see a ruthless woman in fiction who doesn't, like, get portrayed as the villain of that fiction. Gotta go to the inn. Glyph's looking a little peaky. Gotta take him to get some rest. And also us too. These guys really do engineer their own destruction. I'm gonna have so much gold when we're done here that I'm gonna spend instantly in the next town for gear.
Bates smiled slightly. Well, for one thing, his pet theory about a form of undersea life. He had some wild idea that somewhere in the unplumbed ocean depths, there exists a highly developed kind of mollusk, capable of emulating certain characteristics of those life forms it devours. That was his original theory. In later years, he apparently cloaked it with a pattern of demonology and what amounted to a modern adaptation of prehistoric superstition and folklore. He believed that these super undersea species are the incarnation of those elder gods who ruled the antediluvian deep, and whose existence has been brought down to us in the dark myths and legends of a primitive past. That commanded by the great Cthulhu, they have lain dormant those aeons in the sunken city of Flan, awaiting the time when they would rise again to feed and rule. He believed further that their
Goodness, I'll get this one.
metempsychosis of the elder gods carried with it a latent incredible power, and that if he could aid them to their destiny, some of that power would be transmitted to him. Oh, Horatio really went all out in this mystic folderol. I even overheard him promise his brother Edmund all kinds of maledictions if he continued to ridicule his beliefs. Curious, said Miss Rhodes. How old a man was Horatio? Old enough to know better. Somewhere near 50, I should say.
A 5'3" tall, pathetic wet cat shows up to the foot of your bed. What do you do? Pet them. I do not wish to be pet. Oh, Chat. Chat's a delight at all times. Where were I?
To Miss Rhodes' disappointment, the painting of the portrait had little effect on Edith Halbin. The Bristol girl continued to haunt the library, lost in the conchologist's deep-sea world of print. The more fantastic, the more macabre the books and manuscripts were, the more absorbed she became in them. And she went out about her everyday household tasks.
Goodness gracious. Let's try that one more time.
When she went about her everyday household tasks, she did so mechanically, her mind obviously far removed from her work. Yet Miss Rhodes refused to become unduly alarmed. Edith had always been an impressionable person. The artist reasoned that her friend would return to normalcy as soon as her fancy passed.
It's just a little hyper-focused. It's still good. It's still good.
It was about this time that the sound began. It was a subdued murmur, with only her vague awareness at first, so low that she took it to be another manifestation of the high blood pressure which had mildly troubled her for some time. Day by day it continued sporadically, now growing, now lessening in intensity. At times, it would be gone, and she thought... goodness. And she thought with relief she was rid of it.
I'm going to be rid of these statues in a second. One of these nights I'll do a thing where I just read you guys public domain stuff. What if Lightners but paintings? So like evil cursed paintings. Yes, sensible.
Then it would return louder and more persistent than before. When she asked Edith if she'd heard anything unusual, the Bristol girl only looked blank.
The urge to create my 37th character and delete all of fiction on a whim. I get you. I don't delete the fiction, I just keep going with it. I have infinite worlds, infinitely large in scope. And all of them mine. I don't want to make an evil cursed painting, but I'd like to be in one. It's hard when you are 4 centimeters tall and an octopus. Ooh, I gained equipped swords. I've mastered Knight! It's time to change my job. What will I become? What new glorious thing shall I be? A dancer. No, you know what? Let's be a chemist. I don't remember what chemist does. Because I've never really used them. I'm so used to being a knight now that I don't know how to do anything else. Oh. Let's just pop upstairs. We shall be a chemist and do science all over things. I sure hope 999 is mastering Red Mage. All the jobs are just Kirby copy abilities? Yeah, they're not quite, but you get it. Uh-oh. Bad news is here. If Red Mage has another 999 ability, I'm going to be very displeased. Hi, displeased. I am photogenic, but sometimes people have trouble painting me. Source. I just read that part. It's hard to get the lighting right. That's why aquarium staff is very careful and likes to make sure that the water is extremely clear when they paint them. And by that I mean they just take pictures. They should try painting. I hear it's good for people. Nothing after dual cast? Oh right, yeah, I did get you to look up. Yeah. The physician in Harley Street, she finally consulted, gave her a routine examination. I can find nothing wrong with you, he said. The auditory canals seem normal in all respects. A murmuring sound, you say? Miss Rhodes nodded. Yes, a low throbbing as if, well, as if a large hollow shell were placed against the ear and held there. Okay. He looked a little puzzled, went into a vague discourse on psychosomatic symptoms, and ended by prescribing a mild sedative. As doctors are wont to do. Seems to be that's always what they want to do. Mild sedative or antibiotics or whatever. Super helpful. April slipped into May, the sound continued, and Miss Rhodes' companion grew more restive. She became careless in her dress and forgetful in her speech. What was worse... Oh, I've learned pharmacology. What is that? Oh, doubles potions and ethers. That's cool. Where was I? Oh. What was worse, she took to sleepwalking. On 3 successive nights, Miss Rhodes, always a light sleeper, was awakened by the sound of steps on the uncarpeted floor of the outer corridor. I love making these guys explode. Ew. I think we're going to the... I think we're going back to the inn after this. The last night, tiptoeing to her door, she had seen Edith walk slowly, stiffly past, and with robot-like movements descend the staircase to the ground floor. At the entrance of the library, in the dim glow of the nightlight, she paused a moment before entering. Miss Rhodes stood by her door hesitantly. She had read somewhere that to awaken a We'll get there. Somnambulist,
in the midst of his meandering, might induce shock. Nevertheless, she couldn't let her friend move about in this condition at random. She hurried down the stairs. The library was in total darkness, but when she switched on the light, the sight she saw held her rigid for an instant. Edith had drawn up a chair in the middle of the room and sat there stiffly erect, staring at the aquarium. Her hands hung at her sides, her head was slightly tilted downward, like a bird watching. There was something quietly horrible about the taut posture, her sightless concentration. Miss Rhodes touched her on the shoulder. She said gently, "You must have dozed off. I told you not to read so much. Come to bed."
Back to the inn. Speaking of going to bed, we are too. I don't remember what the plot part that I'm supposed to be doing is here. I think I'm looking for Dragon Grass, maybe, in the Dragon Valley. Oh yeah, right, we're going to the Dragon Vale. But not yet! We got 60,000 money and we are not slowing down. Yeah? Can I poke the aquarium? I mean, I guess you could, but aquarium staff tends to frown upon that. They don't like it when you tap the aquariums. I don't mind. You can tap it all you want. That's how you get blue mana. From an artifact. That is a Magic the Gathering joke that probably did not did not make any sense to any of you. Tap, tap, tap. Oh no. Alright, carrying on. Get tapped.
It was a curious fact that the sleepwalking incident marked the end of that chain of events which had so disturbed Miss Rhodes. As if by magic, Edith roused herself from the mood which had gripped her since coming to this house. And, as if by magic too, the murmuring sound dwindled and finally passed away. The very weather underwent a change, overcast days giving way to those of brightest sunshine. Yet, deep within Miss Rhodes was the conviction that it was the pause before the storm. On the night of the 19th of May, she was working in the conservatory studio, doing a new painting. For an hour, Edith had silently watched her friend wield her brushes, then rose to her feet. "I have some letters to write," she said. Miss Rhodes nodded, absorbed in her work. Across on the far wall, the pendulum clock pushed its ticks through the quiet. The air was sultry. Outside, a light rain was beginning to fall, and the smell of wet earth drifted through the open window. The painting, a still life, was going well. Far better than the portrait of Edith, and Miss Rhodes worked with enthusiasm. Perhaps a half hour passed before she became conscious of the silence of the house. Silence pervaded the conservatory like a living entity, through which the faint hushing of her brushstrokes sounded unnaturally loud. Frowning a little, she went to the connecting door and stood there, listening.
Oh, it is time. It is time, isn't it? I did let you guys keep those for this. I considered not letting you guys keep those for this. But then I was like, nah, I can read to them at the same time. Alright, we hydrate as chat demands. And a big stretch. Ah, big stretch. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Ah, okay. And for body break, Let's do shoulder presses. Where are the weights? There they are. I found them. Ah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. I love how these monsters let me grind them for delicious money. Did I do 10 of those? Yeah, I definitely did. I can't count. Okay. Where was I?
Frowning a little, she went to the connecting door and stood there, listening. There was no sound in the house. No creaking of a chair, no rustling of a paper, nothing. A little chill of unease began to move up her spine. "Edith," she called hesitantly. "Are you all right?" Oof. Her voice went bounding down the corridor to stir up a fusillade of a fusillade of echoes, but brought no reply. Miss Rhodes put down her brush and palette and headed for the library. She reached the entrance and halted uncertainly. The door was locked. She knocked on the panel. Delicious money. I too love consuming currency.
Yeah. Currency is delicious. I would know. I have really tasty, pretty shells. I don't eat them, but they're very pretty. They used to have a tasty thing in them. Then I ate that, and now they're pretty shells.
"Edith," she called, "let me in." That same ringing silence answered her. Again she pounded on the door. "Edith, why don't you answer?" Her unease gave way to alarm. She turned and ran down the corridor to the kitchen where the master key hung from a hook on the wall. A moment later she had unlocked the library door and entered the room. At first glance, she thought the room was empty. Her eyes lowered to the floor, and she advanced several steps. For a long moment she stood there, looking down. A dribble of saliva ran from the corner of her mouth. Then she turned very quietly and left the room.
The only thing I like consuming is trauma. Oh no. Oh no.
The rain, coming down harder, wrapped itself about her as she went out the door and down the outside steps to the street. She walked down Hanny Lane to Brompton Road, heading southeast toward Embankment. She moved into Basil Street and followed Basil into Walton, threading her way blindly through the night traffic, unaware of her surroundings, not knowing where she was or where she was going. She entered Pont Street, and as she went on, she saw again in her mind's eye what she had seen in the library, the sight which would live forever in her memory, the body of Edith Halbin lying limp on the floor, a body that was all but unrecognizable because the head and face had been partially devoured, and the aquarium that no longer showed a milky gray solution was now a sickening pink. And most hideous of all, the marks on the floor, the still wet red convolutions extending from the aquarium to the body of Edith Halbin, and from there back to the tank again. Marks that might have been made by some crawling thing, satiated and slobbered with blood. Miss Rhodes came into Cadogan Square. Here she suddenly stopped and threw back her head and screamed.
Mix? Oh, I can mix things now. Anyway, that is the aquarium. That is the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's just how it ends. One of those. Where it's like, oh, the spooky thing happened. I know, right? I thought there would be more about me. I'm cool. Dang. But this is often how mythos stories end. Either they end with the main character being like, "And I'm not long for this world, for the beast is upon me." Or they end with, "And then she went insane." And that's how it is. Now, to be fair, this isn't technically considered canon with the mythos. There's people like me who are like, yeah, definitely, it's part of the mythos. And there's other people, like August Derleth and folks who are kind of purists, who are like, it's only part of the mythos if Lovecraft wrote it. And there's other people yet still who are like, no, it's still part of the mythos. It's still part of the mythos, even if Lovecraft didn't write it, as long as it's accepted. Like, in general. And then there's people, once again, like me, who are like, Conan the Barbarian is part of the mythos. Which I know sounds wild, but hear me out. Conan, the guy who wrote Conan and Lovecraft were friends, and often collaborated together. So there exists a villain in Conan that is a villain in the Lovecraft mythos. And that's how we know that Conan is canon with Cthulhu. Or are we talking about having writing talent? Everyone's got writing skills. It's just a matter of honing them. I could use more Phoenix sounds. I'm so wealthy! I'm gonna be less wealthy when I'm done, but I'm so wealthy right now. These guys. These statues are feeding me everything. I wonder if I've got more nice things in here to read. That's the only one I know really well. I could. Let's see what we've got. I have many Lovecraft stories. Oh, I know. I just have to find one that, listen, the thing about Lovecraft, chat, that Subgang has heard, because I felt it was only appropriate to call it out. The thing about Lovecraft that Subgang has heard is that, he's problematic. I consume gold coins like they're chocolate coins. Good, I'm also doing that thing. Anyway, Lovecraft is a little bit problematic. A lot of bit problematic. I don't know who I'm kidding here. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Listen, he was problematic in the time he was writing in. So, like, you gotta understand, he was problematic enough that in, like, the 30s and 40s, people were like, whoa, buddy, tone it back, thanks. Let's see. Oh, I should tell you guys about Dagon. Dagon's a cool guy. He's a big fish. Oh, that's very long. I don't have time to read you guys 1,000 pages. Like, it's not 1,000 pages.
Which one was the Dunwich Horror? That is ancient. Oh, I know that one. We're not reading that one. I will find you something, guys. Don't worry. Ba-ba-ba. How long is this guy? Uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, yeah. That's right. I remember the Shadow over Innsmouth. I don't know if I have enough time for the reading of it, but I can try. Let's see what we've got here. Oh! Also, I should like you to know that, that Project Gutenberg is amazing. 10 out of 10. Hey, at the Mountains of Madness! That is not about me. I am uncomfortable when not about me. I am uncomfortable when not about me. Nope. Alright, I'll find another tale. You guys don't understand. You guys don't understand how hard it is to find a Lovecraft story that I can read without doing any edits on it. That's why we read things that are part of the mythos and but not by Lovecraft. Ooh. One day, me and my siblings were playing Minecraft Pocket Edition. And one of us tamed a cat, and said cat died somehow. Then the same cat, tamed and all, appeared. Me or my siblings didn't tame this cat. That's so cool! I love it. Let's see. Glitch Cat! Oh, Glitch Cat. It's okay, it's summertime. That's the time in anime to tell spooky stories. Because it sends a chill down your spine. And also, I assume because the days are long, so you have more sunlight so that you don't be scared all the time. I want to bust out the witch hat and cinnamon rolls and all of the goods. Why not bust out the witch hat now? You can bust out the witch hat anytime you want. Source! Hang on. Oh, I don't have a witch hat. Staff! Staff, I want a witch hat. Yeah, I know I said I wanted a lab coat. I want that too. Staff doesn't understand. I could be a witch scientist. A scientist witch. Those are different things. I could be many things. Let's see. What else could I read from here? This is a longer book with other things. Mhm. You know what? You know what we could do? Yeah. Yeah. I know what we could do. Oh, this is a long book, but we could do it. Forgot how long it was. I could tell you the story. The story written by DeMille. It is called, what? Let's scoot chat over there. A strange manuscript found in a copper cylinder. It's very long, so you will have to bear with me because we will not get through all of it tonight. But that's okay. Oh. This is ancient. It's from a long time ago. I realize I said that. I realize I said that like I was like a dictionary for children or something. Like, Lex Luthor stole 40 pies. And that's very bad. Like, I realize I said it like that. But is it from a galaxy far, far away? No. Well, I have to find a copy that has the acceptable text size. Because otherwise, I'm gonna just be sitting here being like, never heard of you. Can't see what I'm doing. And in the meantime, we'll march back and forth, awkwardly pacing, until we find what we need, which is, more bad statuemen. Very bad statuemen. Unacceptable treatment of me. And let's check how far Lena's at. We'll see how close she is. Will we advance the plot? Not tonight. Honestly, I'm reading spooky stories at least in part so that I don't get bored grinding out things. As I am wont to do. I am so wealthy. These statues are making me so impossibly wealthy. I'm gonna destroy every statue in that basement. If it's a statue, it's done. Toast. Oh no. Ah. Okay. I will wait till my own chat gets back. Because I know how much you guys like these spooky stories, apparently. And I like telling them. Especially the really old ones. I'll have to get, I'll have to find some M.R. James stories. Because those are fun. James was a very good writer. He was excellent at the sort of creeping horror that seeps in. You know the thing I mean. Like, everything's normal, and then it just slowly becomes less normal, but you baby step your way to the horror. So when it does happen, you're just like, oh, that seems normal? Legit? That seems like what should happen? I don't know how to explain that. Some people just, like, jump the horror in and it's like, blarg! Spookiness! But, like, with a James story, you're like, yeah. Ooh, haunted. What kind of haunted? Most houses aren't haunted, they just have bad craftsmanship. I didn't mean to use the gold needle on you! You don't need it! If you can use a gold needle, you don't need it!
Ooh, variety haunted. We love a variety haunting. It makes for good television when you do one of those spooky ghost story shows. Wait, why am I up here? I don't need to be up here. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. That's the point where you call ghost hunters. You get out your phone and you call the Ghostbusters. I want to see a Ghostbusters team that is entirely comprised of like home renovation professionals, like construction workers and home inspectors and stuff, because it would be really funny. There was a TV show like that, but they organized it all wrong, and I felt bad. It was, the way it worked was the first part of the TV show would be like, oh, the house is haunted. These are all the spooky things that happen. And then the second part of the TV show, what the second part of the TV show should have been was ghost hunters coming in and being like, oh no, it's very spooky indeed. Ooh-ah, ghosts and such. This is caused by ghosts. And then the third part of the TV show should have been the home inspector coming in and being like, yep, doors hung wrong. Yeah, doors hung wrong. There's a draft here because this wasn't properly sealed. And things like that. But instead they did it the other way around. So they had the home inspector come in first and just go all the places and be like, yeah, this is just hung wrong. So your door's gonna flop open unless you close it, like, in a particular way. Oh, yeah, no, your stairs are just done up wrong, so of course that floorboard's gonna creak. Stuff like that. Welcome in, Princess Elise! We're talking about spooky things tonight, and I'm reading spooky stories periodically. We read The Aquarium, which is a story by Carl Jacobi. It is arguably part of the Lovecraft mythos. People fight about it. They fight about a lot of those stories. And as soon as I can get my head on straight, we're gonna read a very old book called A Strange Manuscript Found in a Copper Cylinder, which I like because it's local. Ooh, scan. Blue Mage is mastered. Time for you to change jobs, sir. Okay, upstairs. Who you gonna call? Twitch chat! If you're seeing things running through your silly brain, who you gonna call? Exactly. If there's something weird in the neighborhood, who you gonna call? Twitch chat! But yeah, anyway, it made the third part of it made like the third act seem really kinda sad, I guess, in comparison. Because they'd come in and be like, ooh, these things are all spooky happenings. But you, the audience, are already there like, no, that cold spot isn't caused by that. It's because they didn't put the ceiling in right around the window, so there's a cold part there. And like, it felt bad, you know? The show didn't last very long. Which is fair, because it shouldn't have. We're speedy. And we're gonna grind this stuff out. I know what you're thinking. Can you really do 3 hours of grinding? Well, we're already an hour and a half in, so the answer is yes. That's how math works. Especially when it isn't really dangerous for me to do what I'm doing. I want a TV show, but it's a sitcom based on Twitch chat. Oh, that would be silly. Silly indeed. We are at 530 out of 999. She's gonna be so good at being a wizard. She's gonna have dual cast, and she's gonna cast on everything, and it's gonna be great. And we're gonna incidentally master a whole bunch of other jobs while we do this. Just incidentally fixing up people. Oops. Like, what are we at for chemist? I think we've leveled up like twice now. We're gonna look. Where are we? Oh yeah, 3 times we've leveled up chemist. Welcome back, Val! Nothing. I didn't actually start reading the story. We mastered a job on Galuf, so now he's a guy, a geomancer. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is gonna be tricky, because strange manuscript found in a copper cylinder was written a long time ago. So the language is different. It's not different like mean different. It's different like you're gonna hear words like repast and stuff like that I feel like maybe wants an explanation, but I'm not gonna bother explaining it. Because you'll figure it out from context. That's what I've decided. So, let's get started. Chapter 1, The Finding of the Copper Cylinder. It occurred as far back as February 15th, 1850. It happened on that day that the yacht Falcon lay becalmed upon the ocean between the Canaries and the Madeira Islands. This yacht, Falcon, was the property of Lord Featherstone, who, being weary of life in England, had taken a few congenial friends for a winter's cruise in the southern latitudes. As you do when you have lots of money, you know? Hey, that's mean to me personally. How dare you, sir? I love how Twitch chat's planning a sitcom. I appreciate that. As you should. Anyway, back to the story. They had visited the Azores, the Canaries, and the Madeira Islands, and were now on the way to the Mediterranean. Whoops, wrong thing. I need your wizard skills. Because I am dying. But only me. So there was a plot to this game. We don't care what it is, we're spending 3 hours grinding. The wind had failed, a deep calm had succeeded, and everywhere, as far as the eye could reach, the water was smooth and glassy. The yacht rose and fell at the impulse of the long ocean undulations, and the creaking of the spars sounded out a lazy accompaniment to the motion of the vessel. All around was a watery horizon, except in the one place only, toward the south, where far in the distance, the peak of Tenerife rose into the air. We ate the plot. Let's see what Twitch chat's up to. I want to be the main character. I'll be a side character that eventually becomes the mainstay 8 seasons past the sitcom's prime. I'm the one main character that everybody generally dislikes but puts up with because they are often funny. Free food, the 4-episode arc! At least we won't be Endless 8.
Oh, Endless 8's wild. Wilder still is Endless 16. It deserves an 8-episode arc. You guys don't know what... Wait, no. You guys know what Endless 8 is, right? Maybe you don't. Maybe that is ancient. Oh. Let me tell you the deep lore. It's not deep lore, it's about anime. I'll tell you the story. So once upon a time, there was a light novel series that also got a manga and also got an anime. You guys have all probably heard, at least in passing, of the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That series had an anime. Now, here's the thing about that. The anime was coming up on an arc, which was, you guys know the repeating day arc, right? Like, we've all seen that one before. Yesterday was Tuesday, but today is Tuesday too. What do you mean? It's, yeah, like, you guys know that one. So that was so Endless 8 is a series of 8 episodes of Haruhi Suzumiya, of the anime, where they actually played the whole thing out. There are many ways that you can do, like, oh, time is infinite kind of thing. A Groundhog Day style thing. They chose the wildest way. So, what happened was, with Endless 8, and you gotta remember too, that this was in syndication. So it was a weekly series, so you would tune in every, like, you know, whatever, Friday night, I guess? I don't remember exactly. But you would tune in every, like, once a week, and you would get your TV show fix. So, for 8 weeks, which is 2 months, what happened was, the episode of Haruhi Suzumiya would be the same episode with minor differences. Because only one character knew that something was wrong and different. Yeah! The fans hated it! I know you love it! I loved it! I loved the idea of it! But man, if I had been a fan of the series, I would have been like, come on guys, you don't have to do this part! You can stop! But they didn't. They just kept going. And worse, there was a parody show at the time. Like, okay, the fans also went through the existential arc that the character who knew what was going on went through, where it was like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun, but I think I'm done now, to, oh no, come on, like, we're good now, right? To, please no more. Please stop this. To, oh, this is just my life now, this same day forever. To, oh, thank goodness he finally answered. Because it ends with the question of, I think, like, did you do your homework kind of deal. Anyway, there was a parody series at the time, which I think still exists pretty decently. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Just the 2 characters in it. I keep trying to call it Papoya? Well, anyway. It's a slapstick comedy, like, parody series. And the way it works is that the episodes are divided up into 2 halves. And the first half and the second half are the same, but voiced by different people. So they just get, like, random celebrity people to come voice these 2 main characters. And I don't know why, but it's actually really funny. I can't explain. It's of the lol so random genre of comedy. It gets weirdly surreal in parts. So they parodied Endless 8 by having 8 of their episodes be exactly the same. And parodying am parodying Haruhi Suzumiya. Oh, come on now. Which ended up being 16 episodes like that, effectively, because their episodes are organized the way that they are. Oh, I can't remember what they were called. Teen Pop. Maybe the internet can help me. Yeah, you know the one I mean. There's the little short one, and there's the big, tall, beaker-looking one. You know the girls I'm talking about. Teen Pop Epic, you're right! Yes, that's them! I was so close. I got to Teen Pop, and I couldn't get the rest of the way. Yeah, they parodied it for like 8 episodes. It was the silliest thing. And I loved it. That's how I found out about Endless 8, because I was like, sure is weird that this keeps happening. I thought I already watched this episode. And like, then I had to look it up and get an explanation. Oh, we gotta go stock up on gold needles again. I kind of want to grow out my hair. Yeah, you could. I think you could pull it off. Plus, there's all sorts of there's all sorts of fun styles that can be done with long hair. They can kind of be done with tentacles. I have learned this because I have tentacles. Do it! The devil on your shoulder. I am not a devil. I'm an octopus. Devils are significantly more red than I'm. Probably. Maybe? They can look like whatever you want, I suppose. I'm not a devil, though. Only an octopus. Who is often hungry. That's why staff feeds me. They gotta feed me tasty things. Yeah! I'm the voice that goes, hey, hold on a minute. It is not selfish to want things for yourself. It is selfish to want, it is not selfish to want things for yourself. It is selfish to neglect others. Or rather, it is selfish to neglect others completely. There is a balance to be had here. Yeah, I appreciate the question mark. Yeah, there is a balance to be had here. You can't spend all your time just, you know, helping. You can't spend all your time just pleasing other people. It won't work that way. You'll hurt yourself. At the same time, you can't exclude people completely from yourself. Because if you do, then you won't have anybody around. Well, not quite. I suppose it's more accurate to say that you will still have people around. It's just, you know, they'll be kind of frustrated all the time. So like I said, there's a balance to be had. I personally find that you should, in general, help people if you can, but you have to understand that if you hurt yourself to do that, you can't help anybody anymore. I don't know how better to explain it than by explaining it using the concept of, you know, spoons. You guys have all heard of spoons being a concept of energy? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad Twitch chat gets it. It's almost 1 in the morning. Aquarium staff is like, oh, why are we still here? And the answer is because you made me work. Now you have to work too. That's why. You made me do work, so I guess you gotta do it too. Make me work at weird hours. Try and make me work over my enrichment. And they're doing it to me again next week, making me work over my enrichment. This isn't fair treatment of me. Wah! It's true. If you stay the whole time, you will be up until midnight. Security's gonna get here, and they're gonna be like, what are you guys doing here? It's gonna be really funny. Nah, I say that. They told security that they weren't needed until much later in the night. Yeah! 17 minutes to midnight. That's Eastern. Oh no, I don't know which one I gold needled. Whatever, the bottom ones are safe. Oh, I know what I could do. Instead of reading you a very long novel. Or trying to. We can read a long novel next time. Next time I do this. I know what I can do. Instead of reading you a novel, I'm gonna tell you spooky stories from my from my childhood. Okay, from a human childhood I made up. Pretty sure I actually do know exactly where you live. Would you still love me if I was a spider? Yeah. Val, you've ordered from my Etsy shop. What do you think I shipped to? Did I, like... Did I ship? I put it in the post and said, take it to my soda provider. And the post just knew? The post would just be like, okay. You got it. Yeah, exactly. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's that hour of the night when everything becomes really funny. Just whether it is or not. It's the giggly hour of the evening. The silly time. Egbert. Hence egg! Oh, I should tell you guys about Hence egg someday. Okay, so I can explain. Okay, so once upon a time, there was somebody that I used to... Oh, wow, Geomancer's actually mastered. Wow, that was quick. Okay. I can't... The only thing I can't master in this style is Berserker. I remember Ranger having something good. I don't remember what, but I vaguely remember Ranger having something good. You take that off this instant. You just punch things to death, alright, Galuf? The silly hours for rambunctious folks, exactly. Alright, so I will tell you the tale. We will lighten things up for a moment. I will tell you the tale of Hence egg. And then I will go back to telling you stories of spooky stories again. Okay, so once upon a time, when I worked at the business factory where we make numbers. When I worked at the business factory where we make numbers, I used to know somebody who had a habit of trying to dress up their writing, their business writing, to sound fancy. We call that putting on airs around here. And so, they would write things like hence and EG and IE and stuff like that, but they didn't know how to use those things properly. Which, unfortunate. So, at one point, we were reading over something they'd written, and one of the things that kept coming up was them writing in order, hence EG. Which doesn't make sense. And I forget who read it first that way, but one of the people I was, having help me proofread stuff was like, hence egg? To be fair, he knew what that, he knew. He was just making fun. A little bit. Reading it on purpose funny. And then we were both just like, no, done, sold. And it was very silly indeed. And then I felt a little bad because, people write how they write, but at the same time I was like, I went to school for English. I went with a lot of fish to learn English. Come on. I want to be a pretty I want to be a pretty princess. Same, Val, same. There can only be one. Draws out my pretty pink sword. Big flippin' squeaky hammer. Oh, that's perfect. How dare you, sir? Make me use a gold needle on my teammates? This is unacceptable treatment of me. That's what you get. Yeah, we can all be pretty princesses. I don't have a little crown. Actually, I have a very big crown, but it doesn't fit me, so I'm not allowed to wear it. Staff said I'm not allowed to wear it. They said the minute I start putting on crowns and talking about sacrifice is the minute that they're going to call somebody. They said they wouldn't throw me out to sea if that happened. But they also said that maybe I wouldn't be allowed any more enrichment. Where I could, talk to people. Ahem. 'Cause they're mean. I could wear a crown if I want. A coral crown? Nah, I'm making fun. I can wear a coral crown. Okay. We're at 634. That's pretty decent, actually. Of 999. And we've just been grinding these guys constantly to dust. That silly song won't get out of my head. That's fair. I had the 10,000-year earworm stuck in my head for a while. That was pretty fun. And then it became unstuck out of my head. Oh no! This is dangerous. Hello? I was scared there for a second. I love that they cast Vanish on themselves.
Whoa, okay. Sir, I will thank you to not make me do that. These objets d'arts are dangerous. Also the engineers of their own destruction. Down, down, king of bones in your coral crown. Drown, save your breath, 'cause tonight you're gonna drown. I liked Coral Crown better than the other one. The other one is good. There's a third one, a secret third one. I am gonna claw out your eyes, then drown you to death, etc. But I would never. I would definitely never. I don't have claws. So when I'm gone, cast the bronze for my bust of my head to be displayed in the library. Fier and the Silly's full coral crown cover when? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe someday. Huh? Huh? Ah! Oh, okay. I'm okay. You should all know, there was a moth. When you are 4 centimeters tall, moths are a lot bigger than if you are not 4 centimeters tall. And it touched me. It bonked me twice. Yes. What? Oh. Hello? Hello, chat. Oh! Oh, a moth! Just you coming to say hello, huh? Ah, of course. Of course. That makes sense. I associate moths with, Aizen of Bleach fame. Because he was the captain of Squad 5, I think. I think it was Squad 5. Gosh, I don't remember. Oh, I'm a bad fan. I'm not actually. It's been a long time since he's been captain of anything. He's been stuck in a chair for most of it. Yes, I remember many things. Like this one time. This one time when I was very small. It was a long time ago. Many years ago. Many, many years ago. I was swimming around in the dark, and it was nice, and it was dark, and then I got fished up. I didn't like that. We have a Skyscale mount in Guild Wars 2 that's a moth. It's really cute. And people like it a lot. I liked it okay. Not gonna make the joke? I don't know. It seems like your will is fading. Yeah, I thought it might be. Magnus reference. Also, I remember the lyrics to a great many songs, despite it having been a long time since I've heard them. But I have a head for that kind of thing. Mostly.
In Circles is great. Yeah, good. In Circles should make people feel. The singer on stage is supposed to be the main character of Transistor, and she is resoundingly rejecting. She is resoundingly rejecting the advances of one of the villains' party. And also basically just saying, like, I'm not responsible for your emotional well-being. I don't want anything to do with you. You need to figure it out. And I like that. I also like In Circles, like the redux of In Circles with all the underscores and glitchy sound. I can't pronounce the title because it's just missing letters, but I like it a lot. Ooh, we do love a Helen animactic. I especially love that one that goes to the song A Crow's Trial. Which I do know a good portion of the words for, but they're not coming out on stream. Ooh. I'm still waiting for the Mega Man 4 covers by the Megas. It's been 50 years. It's been 50 years. Oh, I will say, Stray Italian Greyhound, that animactic, is almost... Is at least, like... I'd say it takes about a fifth of the responsibility for me writing again. There's a Magnus Stray Italian Greyhound one that's really well drawn. And I was thinking about some stuff, some OC stuff, and then Mint sent that animactic to me, and I instantly was like, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute! And that is why two things are true. One, I keep thinking Callahan wears glasses. He doesn't. He does not need aid to see. And the second thing is that song immediately went into a playlist. The playlist for my OCs. One of which is part of something called The Post. And is arguably a mailman. He's not. It's more complicated than that. And the other of which is a doctor. The playlist for their ship is called Postdoctorate, and I think I'm funny. Oh, excellent! I will watch that animation later. I'm on Fierre's Spotify account right now. I can confirm this to be true. Oh no! You found me! You found me out! We're getting there. We're at 682 of 999. You're there because it's the same username I use for everything. I haven't used a different username in years. Ages. I did use a different username when I was much younger, though. But then I wanted something that sounded a little more like a name. So I got my name. It's easier to pronounce than, you know, what it could have been. I'm glad you've been having fun with it. Oh, I heard that, Hydrate. Oh no! Banana. Ooh, we got catch. Yeah, it's been 2 hours already. Time does fly when you're being silly. Alright. Oh no. Oh boy. Okay. I'm okay. Had to wiggle. Okay. Oh. Yeah. I got the weights. Oh wait. Oh no. Okay. Neck stretch. Neck stretch. Okay. And now, we do the weights. We're gonna do bicep curls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay. Okay. And we hydrate. It's chat demands. Oh! Welcome in, Tanglegut! The villagers have arrived! Welcome in! How was Animal Crossing? You know what I mean. How did all the aminals be crossed? Were the islands cute? Was everything precious and adorable? We are just grinding out job levels. Also, welcome in, Raiders! For those of you that don't know, my name is Fiarluna. I am a variety streamer. Right now, we're doing something a little bit different. I'm just grinding out job levels in this game because this is not the usual time that I stream. It will be for the next couple of weeks, though, just because life got in the way. I am Captain of Toxic Positivity, which is a Splatoon team. Gracious, we'll get there. And also a YouTuber. Also under @Fiarluna, I do a Let's Play every day for games that I find fun. I have no concept of an algorithm or what it is. I just do kind of whatever I'm feeling at the moment. Right now, we stream JRPG on Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. JRPG on Monday night. Tuesdays is Splatoon. Wednesdays was Hades 2, but it will be something else this week. Thursdays is Guild Wars 2, my beloved. One and only MMO, favorite one. Friday is whatever I'm feeling like, but we just finished Professor Layton. So we're playing something else on Friday. Saturday, chat has convinced me to try Genshin Impact. I done got bonked. That was very good timing. And Sunday we do Salmon Run, which is a Splatoon mode where I grind for a lab coat. Normally on Saturday we play Fire Emblem Awakening. I know I said JRPG night was Monday, but Fire Emblem Awakening is amazing and you all deserve to see it. I will show you the parts of your heritage. I will do this as best I can. Tonight what we're doing is grinding out levels for 3 hours and telling spooky stories, because that is what we do on summer nights. At least out home, that's what we did on summer nights. We watched scary movies and we played video games and took turns grinding out job points and levels so that we could be the most busted. One time we had a Charizard in Viridian Forest. Because we just decided that's what we were gonna do. It didn't listen to us. Like ever. But we did have it. Anyway, the story we read tonight was called The Aquarium. It's by Carl Jacobi. It's part of the mythos, technically. And I like it very much. I didn't have a good spiel prepared tonight at all. I'm gonna eat your Mega Man game. No, Val, don't. Anyway, the stone statues we're fighting are weak to gold needles, which is what heals petrification. So we've been down here using gold needles to grind the job points out of them. Which is the most delightful thing. Also, I don't know why we get 4 job points for 2 of these guys, but 8 job points for 5 of these guys. I don't think the math checks out at all. Unless we get 10 job points for this, and I just haven't been counting. Oh, right. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Those of you who aren't, you should all go check out Tanglegut. He does a lot of Nintendo streaming, a lot of Animal Crossing, some Mario Kart last I checked. And just generally, it's a good time, y'all. And unlike Lovecraft, we're not afraid of gardens and greenery and vegetables. What should we do one of these nights? Oopsie doodle. I think I gotta stock up on Among Us. Ooh, we could play Among Us. It has crossplay now, right? I think I had it on my phone, so... Yeah, Among Us. Welcome in, Fons Cornaro. That took me a second. The same thing we do every night, Valley. Try to take over the world. Well... We'll do proper team activities when Ghost is back with us again, too. Then we'll all have a delightful time. Look, I don't care about the evidence. The imposter has to be Momo. Guys, I literally went over there to go get gold needles. Is this a fiesta? Arguably, it is a party, I suppose. I mean, it's a JRPG. That's just how it works. And Val's got salsa. Ooh, I think I have cheese. I think staff let me have cheese. Is Among Us even relevant anymore? I guess it kinda is. I don't know if it was ever relevant. I didn't play it when it was big. I downloaded it to my phone. But then I never really played it at all. It's not because I didn't get it or anything. It's just because I had other stuff to do at the time. You know. Because of the plague. Have I shown you guys Baby Cthulhu? I should show you guys Baby Cthulhu. Alright, good night. Thanks for the raid. We're gonna continue grinding statues into dust. Yeah, Baby Cthulhu. It's old, but it's still good. It still checks out.
Oh, no, this is not a Fiesta run. I am playing this casually because most of my chat skews a bit younger, and they've never seen this game before. But I grew up with it, and I love it a lot. So I was like, well, I'll just show you guys. And because this isn't my usual time to stream this evening, I decided we would just grind out some levels for a while. And by that I mean job levels. We're grinding Lena some dual cast. We're at 730 of 999. If I ever play FF7 for you guys, I'll make an attempt at the level 7 challenge. Which is hard, but not impossible. I also want to play Legend of Dragoon for all of you, because I think you'd like it. Oh, look at that. Look at that emote. Cute. I should make one with hearts for me. I've always got hearts on, though. I'm wearing them. Yeah. I could use some hard eyes. I'll try and draw that out later. Aww! Oh, look at the little head bob. Cute. Guys, I don't know if we're gonna make it. Yes! I'm so excited for the new Zelda catalog. I also want to drop an entire IKEA catalog on my foes. Plus my foes on my foes. I would love to do that. It looks so cute. And I'm so excited to play it. I'm legitimately saving up dollars so that I can put them in no matter what happens on my way there. What do you mean, but no? You could draw Zelda. She's really cute. I could make a yarn Zelda. But I haven't had the wherewithal to do that lately. I feel bad, because I want to. She's so cute, and I'm so excited. I've already seen the memes of just me out here living my best life, followed by Link's drowning behind you. This ain't about him. And I love it. Yeah. I put those in the meme chat, I'm pretty sure, for you guys. It was too silly. Too silly not to. I'm so excited to put like tables and chairs and beds and things and stack them and do weird things with that. I'm excited to see what speedrunners do with it too. A power like that could be incredible for them. Like just to pull stuff out of thin air. I'm excited to see what they'll do. Cause like I'm not a speedrunner myself. I don't have the time and effort to dedicate to that. But I think it's really neat and exciting to watch other people speedrun things. That's why on Fridays I take you on a Joe raid. So you can go see a friend of mine who does do speedruns. Or I'd take you to see Milk, but we don't stream at similar times, so that's a little trickier. Do 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 do.
Oh, right, I was going to tell you a spooky story from my youth. Okay, so it's time. Okay, so a long time ago when we were small. Now, we grew up in a kelp forest. It was very dense. And there was farmland and stuff, but the spot that we lived was in a kelp forest. That's just you. I was so scared for a second. Yep, it's unfair treatment of you, Val. I'm sorry. So anyway, we grew up in a little kelp forest, which was very exciting to all involved, I'm sure. So my sister and I, and any of our cousins and stuff that would be out there, would occasionally wander in and go play and do stuff. And it was late at night. And I don't remember what happened, but one of us heard noise. And the rest of us were like, And then we all kind of were like, well, you know what? Maybe it's time we abscond from here. So we run down the hill, back home to the safety of, walls and a cave. And we get back, and lo and behold, we were right to do that, because out of the kelp forest we see sparkling lights. Not sparkling exactly, but glinting lights. And we're like, oh. Oh no. There are a lot of ocean predators. Coyotes of the sea. Anglerfish, if you will. Anyway, it was very spooky, but I'm glad we all got home. And nobody got eaten. And that's the important part. We are at 782. Did the lights want to smoke? Not that kind of anglerfish. Nope, the kind of anglerfish that angle for fish. Oh, we've mastered Beastmaster and I didn't even notice. Ferris, it's time for you to be literally anything else. What's Thief's last thing? What would I be if I were... I guess I could be a ninja. Ninja has cool stuff. Wait, where is Ninja? I lost it. I don't like the outfit. Wait, hold on. Vigilance. Is that prevents back attacks? Done! Oh, we're beautiful. Me and Cat had the same idea. Artful Dodger. That's the thief's last thing. Oh, I don't know what that does. We're gonna be a ninja for a while. I'm not planning anything in particular. Plus 16 agility. That's pretty sweet. That's a lot of agility. There's a reason that is called Artful Dodger. Guys, we're gonna get dual cast out of this one way or another. I'm also really excited to show you guys Final Fantasy VI because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite games. Oh, chat. So, anyways. Yeah, you showed us that outfit. It was really cool.
Why 405? What a weird number. You had a really good outfit, and people are learning. People in public are learning that it's a good idea to compliment people when you like the thing that they did. Oh yeah, Kat, go get some rest. It's late at night. Get you some rest. I was asleep until very late because aquarium staff was like, well, we better not bother that one. We know she's gonna be up late tonight. And I was eeping. I've got things to do before work tomorrow, so I'm gonna be up at a sort of real hour. There's a mini I want in Guild Wars 2, and tomorrow's the last day that I can get it. There's 2 minis, really. One of them is a little baby duckling. And I think that's really cute. Yeah, you've probably got to be up at a real hour so that you can go home from the lake house, presumably. Yep, gotta go home from swimming. Alas. Road trip time! You got plenty of stuff to do on a road trip. Oh, you gotta decide what to do. Well, there's podcasts to listen to. There's reading to read. I don't know what else I do in a car. Read the Odyssey, the whole thing? Oh, good luck with that. Oh yeah, I know you could. Sometimes I suggest reading the Odyssey, or similar things, and I'm like, yeah, go for it. Other times I'm like, eh. But that's just because I understand that there is a good translation and there is a lot of translations that are kind of like, Reading the Odyssey doesn't make you smart. Reading the Odyssey makes you slightly more learned than other people. That's different. Slightly more well-versed in classics isn't the same. Also, I will say, smart is an illusion. There is intelligible, like, there's intelligent on a topic. Ooh, 8:14. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. One of us got struck. Oh, it was Ferris. I know, right? Dualcast is going to be 100% worth it. I should have done the others and given them Dualcast too, but I have other plans for them. We're going to have Dualcast, and we are going to cast so much. We're going to become a white mage for a little while, and then a black mage for a little while. And imagine dual-casting Flare. You don't understand how funny it is to dual-cast Flare. Or, like, get the whole party dressed in Reflect in 2 turns instead of 4. Like, it's so useful. Especially if you make yourself a freelancer and then equip whatever you want to yourself. You equip whatever you want to yourself and then you just, like, destroy everybody. with whatever magic you've equipped. So you have like black magic level whatever it is. Fear, can I eat death? Probably not. I feel like death would be too crunchy. Alternatively, I feel like Zagreus would frown upon you eating Thanatos. Oh, First Strike is an ability I vaguely remember. I think it was one that let you... Yeah. I somehow knew you were gonna say that. Of course you did! What else am I gonna do? Just a little nibble. No! I'm not allowed to nibble people anymore. I guess I never was allowed to nibble people. And if I'm not allowed to nibble people, no one's allowed to nibble people. I'm not even people. I'm an octopus. Hungry, hungry octopus. Also, side note, I don't actually know what a Fiesta Run is. I think it's a speedrunning thing. I'll have to look it up. Because I feel like it's something I'd like to watch. No, you can't have any Oliver Banks either. No. No munching. No munching, no crunching. Gonna munch. I'm gonna crunch. Please tell me you can hear the music in your mind. The womp that comes after that in that vine. Okay, where are we at now? Oh, that! Yeah, I could have done that. I didn't. But I was basically doing that. Yeah, let's... You know what? That's a good fun thing to do. I'm gonna do that next time. Next time I play this. Because we were getting really far with Red Mage Lena, Monk Galuf, Knight Fier, and Thief Ferris. No, you cannot bite Elias's hand either. We do not bite the hand of people who don't feed us. Just like we don't bite the hands of people who do feed us. I would never! Staff, no, that's your own fault. You have to hold the shrimpies so that I can get them if you want to hand feed them. Staff thinks I would bite their hands on purpose. I wouldn't. They have to hold the shrimpies so I can get at them, or just drop them in the water, or put them straight in my tentacles. But sometimes they're like, I'm gonna hang on to this for a little while, and then I'm like, no, and I am hungry, so I bite at the shrimpies. And then they're like, ouch, that was not shrimps. It's not my fault. No, it's like a horse. You don't put your hands curled up near a horse mouth. They don't understand. Staff is weird and silly. I think they want to go home.
Alas! They're the ones who interrupted. They're the ones who interrupted my time to do this thing with work. Hey, staff, want me to buy you some coffee? Oh, no. You got them excited. Yeah, they're fine. Just grumbly. Because they have to be here late at night. Like I said, there's always 2 of them here at any given time. Sometimes it's security late at night, but sometimes it's science people. But there's always 2 of them all the time forever. And they don't leave me alone. Will they accept tea? Yes. Hooray! For Halloween, do you know what's gonna happen? Staff lives another day. Of course they do. There's lots of them. They have to live. Sometimes they get tired of me and work at other parts of the aquarium. I don't see how. I'm cute. Look at me. I'm adorable. I'm a little octopus. Yeah, right? I've been here nearly a whole year. I don't get it either. Exactly. Chat gets me. Chat understands me. Yeah, you have. It's gonna be a whole year come August. I don't remember exactly what day. Oh, really? Oh, right. August was when we got the team going properly. Ooh, there is an exact day. How are we doing on job points? Wow, we're almost there. We gotta go stock up, though, on gold needles. Need a few more. I can't believe we're doing this. I can't believe this is happening. We're doing so well. Wait until you see the vast amount of money I have. Yeah, you've been here a whole year. Yeah. You've done this thing called growing. Surprise! Also, why would people despise you? That's silly. Psh! Pshaw! And all that. All those noises that old-timey people used to make when things were silly and not correct. Dang gummit, etc. Well, see? You're gaining confidence in yourself as a person. I should tell Chad all the story of, I should tell Chad the story of the donkey. Taking the donkey to market. It's about not being a people pleaser all the time. Yeah, but you're a youth. Youths always need constant reassurance. That's how it works. Like, that's just the thing you do. The younger the youth, the more reassurance they need. I will tell you a secret, too. Adults also want constant reassurance. They just don't get to have it all the time. Especially when they have things like anxiety disorders, or ADD, or the TISM, and things like that. In those cases, they need a little extra assurance and a little more extra direct behavior. You need to sometimes remind people that, hey, I like hanging out with you, and you're cool. There's lots of ways to do that. Bloop. But yeah, fun fact, adults also need that. Else 2 a.m. brain gets them. You know 2 a.m. brain. We all know 2 a.m. brain. That's the one that goes, hey, have you ever considered that maybe that thing you did 600 years ago was pretty weird? And that people might think that was weird? Yeah, it's because you've got a support network. Ever since I joined the team, I've been literally more happy. Yeah, because you've got a network of people who are supportive of you. That you can talk to about things. Exactly. Yeah, I will tell you another tale about the internet. When I was very small, there was no such thing as the internet. Okay, I was a little older than very small. But there was no such thing as the internet in those olden days. Ye olden days. And in ye olden days, before the internet and stuff, you were stuck trying to be friends with whoever was physically around you. And sometimes that was really awkward because there was no one physically around you who liked the things that you liked. Or very few people who did. And so you had to make compromises by either being friends with people who you were like, I objectively do not care for this person, but they like the thing I like, so I guess we're stuck. Or you would be like, I like a lot of things that I like, but these people will never go for that. And have told me so on multiple occasions. But I generally otherwise like them as people. So you have to make those sacrifices before the internet. But now the internet exists. And you have a near infinite network of people that you can go to and be like, hey, do you like this thing I like? And also, do we gel well together? Yay! That in and of itself is also kind of a trade-off. We don't find you annoying. Val, I would tell you if I found you annoying. And do you know why I would do that? Because, one, I am incredibly direct in all of my interactions. So I will just tell people things. Sometimes things wildly out of left field, and you'll be like, excuse me? Hello? As they come into my brain. And the other thing is that you're not the only person I know with the TISM. You are not the only person, who... You're not the only person I know, so I have a lot of experience, like... I'm trying to think of a way to put this. I have a lot of experience sort of understanding where folks are coming from. I guess, if that makes sense, like... I can't quite explain what I mean. Yeah. Like, I've told you guys before. Like, way back when you first got here and were like, I hate a whole bunch of things. And you mentioned some food or other. Probably mashed potatoes, maybe, question mark? And I was like, yeah, it's a texture thing. And you were like, oh, what? How do you know that? Because I know other people who have texture things about food, and that's why. Same reason as I was like, yeah, some shirts are just like that. The seams aren't right, and then they're touching.
Because I know people who have those, I know people who have those things. So I'm, like, super used to that sort of thing. Like, sometimes I'll just get handed a food and be like, what's this? I didn't like it. Why? Does it taste bad? Nah. What's wrong with it? Texture. Oh. And then that's my food. It got to a point where sometimes when I'm out with certain people, I'll order a lot less than I would normally order because I know I'm getting a half a meal from each of them probably. So I'm just there like, I think I'm going to order something I know that they'll like so that nobody has to feel bad. It's a delight. TBH, if I'm being completely honest, I kind of like having folks around, with the TISM, because, like, generally speaking, I find y'all are incredibly direct. And I appreciate that. I don't like... So here's the thing. I understand social constructs and rules and all those weird little, like, dumb things that people do where they, like, try to nudge you in a direction. Things like, things like when you go up to somebody and be like, oh, how many candies am I allowed to have? And they go, oh, take as many as you like. But what they mean is take a socially acceptable small amount. I understand that. At the same time, I just really prefer when I get a direct answer. And y'all will tell me. Y'all will say, there's, 30 candies in that bowl because I'm expecting 15 people, so you can have 2. And that's what I am here for. I like that. I don't like guessing. I will, because I understand that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, I have an intrinsic understanding of that, but, like, I don't like it. That's why I like working with, I used to do stuff on the phone with people in New York, and my golly, people in New York will tell you. If they want something, if they think something's not right, they'll tell you immediately. And it's so helpful. No, I get what you mean. Like, if you're upset as somebody and you just talk as little as possible to them, and be kind of, like, short with them when they try to talk to you, that's usually what we call, the cold shoulder. It sucks, but sometimes you actually have to tell people what you're mad at them for. Worst case scenario is they get mad at you for being mad at them. But in those cases, you kind of just have to, like... talk it out. I don't know how to explain this. So people's natural reaction when you're like, hey, you've done a thing that hurt me. Okay, let me start from the top. It's 2 a.m. brain. You're gonna get to hear some 2 a.m. brain a little before 2 a.m. So, generally speaking, most people like to think of themselves as good people. Not everybody does think of themselves as good people, but we're not here to talk about the people who are, like, self-loathing. We're here to talk about the people who consider themselves to generally be a good person. Those folks, which is, in general, most people. When you say, hey, you've done a thing that hurt me, or you've done a thing that upset me, those people's natural reaction is to say, is to defend themselves. Because what's going on is they're not consciously thinking about it like this. I will preface this. They're not really thinking about it at all, just like you wouldn't be, or I wouldn't be. If someone was like, hey, you've done a thing that hurt me, I would immediately be like, what do you mean? I would never. Because they wouldn't on purpose. But it feels like an attack on their general goodness. Because they wouldn't hurt someone they care about. That is a bad thing to do. They're not a bad person. Oh, only bad people do bad things, and they're not bad people, so they would never do the bad thing. So, in cases like that, when you say, like, hey, you've done a thing that's hurt me, what they hear is, you are a bad person. That's not what's happening. And it takes a lot of work to get past that sensation. To catch that feeling when it's happening and say, hey, hold on. Nobody said you were. And you have to do it that way. You have to catch that feeling and say, hold on. Actually listen to the words that are being said to you. This isn't a value judgment. This isn't a moral failing. Sometimes people make mistakes. But a lot of the times when people lash out, they're trying to save themselves either because their self-image is threatened or because they feel embarrassed. Because their self-image is threatened. Why don't they just apologize? Because they do. Because they're busy feeling hurt themselves. Which I know is weird. I guess a little bit, but it is sort of standard behavior. That is a bad heckin' habit, to just start thinking the person hates you and then over-apologizing and so on. That's why we get out the apology counter and tell you not to appropriate my culture. Apologize more than I do, and I'm Canadian. Look at this. We're at 962. Guys, we're going to be able to change Lena out of her job. We're at 962. This is going to be worth it. Wait until you get to see me cast, like, Break on these guys, like, twice. Or Asuna, or whatever. I forget what it's called. They're weak to something I can cast as a white mage. Nah, don't worry about talking too much. There is a very old therapy style that tries to sort of treat the tism by being like, okay, here's the rules. You can only say 2 things about special interest. You can't keep talking about it, etc. I do not care for that very old style of doing things. Yeah, I do not care for that old style of therapy. It is not useful. But it's from an age when people thought therapy was to make you act normal. Anyway, so the Magnus Archives. Well, don't you start apologizing in chat. It's not time for you to have 2 a.m. brain yet. It's not even time for me to have 2 a.m. brain. Anyways, we wax philosophical at this hour of the evening. Exactly. We wax philosophical with chat at this hour of the evening because we can. We are so wealthy off these statues. They are filled with money. Delicious money. We're so rich. Unbelievably rich. It's true. Get 2 or more neurodivergents together and this is what happens. You're right. Oh shoot, I should have... That should be enough to finish it out, right? I don't know how to do math. Math is hard. Late night Guild Wars 2. Yumi and Momo is my favorite activity. Aww. I do love doing Guild Wars 2. Oh yeah, we'll teach you all sorts of things. That is also why I find that it's useful to have friends who are outside my age group. It's important for me to have friends who are younger than
so that they can teach me about internet memes that I don't understand. And it's important for me to have friends who are older than I am, so that they can be like, oh, back in my day when we had a party line. And I go, what's a party line? And they go, oh, well, it's when the telephone used to be hooked up to an entire, like, city block. And anybody could be on it, not just the people in your house. And they could listen. And I was like, wow, that sounds terrible. They were like, oh, it was. You didn't talk about things on the phone that weren't important. People would hear. Stuff like that. It's also important because, like, I think my glasses give me away as one of the Alphabet Mafia. And it's nice to have the elders around to talk to. There aren't very many left. It really helps with being able to see, like, certain social movements for what they are. The most recent round of, nonsense. Well, like, consider the following. If I didn't have anybody to tell me about it, what would I be taught? What would I be taught about the 80s? Like, the 70s and the 80s? What would I know on the subject? Nothing. There's nobody to tell me. How would I know to look up Max Hirschfeld? I wouldn't know who he was. And I bet most of y'all don't either. Exactly. Dr. Hirschfeld was a doctor a long, long, long time ago. No, it's not your fault. He was a doctor before World War II. Well, during, but like... Around the time of... I'll send you guys the wiki article later. But I will say, understand now that we are taught that once upon a time, just pre and during World War II, books were burnt. They were almost primarily his. Because he was writing about trans people. And the rest of the Alphabet Mafia. Yeah. Because he was a psychologist in those days. Well, I mean, that's what we would consider him now. He was a doctor. So he was studying folks. But not in a, ooh, what a curious, weird, terrible thing. More in a, hey, what's these people's lives like and what can I do to help them? And, yeah. That tends to get a little bit left out with just this vague, like, knowledge was lost. And I'm like, what knowledge? What knowledge? What knowledge, Timothy? Dualcast! We finally have it, Your Honor! We can finally change her job! She has mastered Red Page! Finally, after 10,000 years, I'm free! I'm free to be literally anything else. Bard. I won't be a bard. I love bards. Anyway, finally, after 10,000 years, I'm free. I don't know what will make her. We have to make her a mage of some kind, though. She looks so funny as a black mage. Can make her a summoner. Yeah, alright. White mage is what we were going to make her at the beginning of the game. And then I was like, no, hold up. We need to make her a red mage. Look at her. She's cute. Finally! After 10,000 years! Excuse me, I need to go save this immediately. I am so desperate to make sure that this is okay.
Beautiful. Finally. She can cast Asuna. I wonder if she can cast Asuna on the Badmans. Does Asuna work on these guys? It can't. Can it? I'm gonna see. Not on these guys though.
I'm glad. I'm glad late night talks always be good for everybody here. I'm filled with facts. And ideas and things. And probably a very different perspective than what you would expect because I don't live in the US. Good gravy, she's too slow to go first. It must work, right?
You're allowed to get sappy on July 5th.
On the anniversary. How many gold needles do I have? 12? Yeah, that's fine. Let's risk a 5, guys. 5 guys! Give me 5 guys! That's still 2 guys. You know what? You know what? I want to see if it does work. Ouch! It might not. This might be a silly thing to have done. Is that double for anyone you use it on? It is. Wait, what? What? Guys, dual cast was 100% worth it. Dual cast was so worth it. It doesn't work on them. Dual cast was so worth it. She can cast, she can all the magic is in dual cast. All of it. I didn't realize. I just wanted to cast twice. Any magic she can cast twice. Oh, that's too good. I can't. I cannot. I'm dying. I'm dying of beauty. Of phantasmagoria. Okay. Okay. We did it. We did it! Alright, we hydrate as chat demands. And a big stretch. Ah, big stretch. I wish I was queen. I'm not allowed to wear crowns. And for a body break, we will do obliques. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we did it. Amazing. Alright, so, you know what that means? That means it is now closing time, and we hope you enjoyed your visit to the octopus enclosure. I'm glad I got to tell a story about me. It was great. 10 out of 10. Would do again. Maybe I will pick a night and just read stories to all of you. I will pick a reading room. This is an aquarium and a library also. Now let's see if there's anyone on worth bothering tonight. Anyone worth raiding to. It's far late at night, so I am not expecting much. Let's go see Afe. Afe's playing Antechamber, which is a fun, silly game. Don't know how to explain it. Alright. Let's go on an adventure.